We the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia, we the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia, we the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia, we the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. You know who the beast in the AFC East? We gon' grind this thing out for 17 weeks, yeah. You hating on the Bills, then you way off. Talk is cheap, meet us in the playoffs. Game day, you know we going off. Got your team captain shaking at the coin toss. We say Mafia, that means family to me. Cause we stand with the team, best fans in the league. Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia, we the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia, we the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia, we the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia, we the Mafia.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Buffalo Fambase, our little podcast event we got live from Resurgence Brewery. Of course, we got the man, the myth, legend himself in the building, Muki Hawkins, right? Then we got another woman, myth, and legend, Kristen Kimmick, founder of the Bills Mafia Babes. Not the other one. Okay. Not that one. No. The Bills Mafia Babes, of course, the loved and adored Bills Mafia Babes. Shout out to all the babes out there. Shout out to all the Bills fans out there. So we are going to talk a little bit about the Bills-Bengals game coming up. Obviously, what happened last time, they weren't able to finish their game, but this time they get the rematch, and it's in Buffalo this time. So that's a lot better because you were at the game. Was that crowd sounded a little scary.
It was. I'll tell you, those first 9 minutes that we saw, they were going hard.
Yeah.
They came out flying out the game. It was scary.
They looked scary. Hey, let's see what the players' mindset is looking like. You know what I'm saying? We got beat reporter Muki Hawkins in the building. So, Muki, let us know, like, what's the players thinking about, in the locker room, and how are they going into this game? What's their mindset?
Well, I mean, the emotion part, is over. There's no remnants of, the DeMar Hamlin situation. I don't want to say that the guys are over it. You can never get over something as, man, I want to say horrific as, of a scene that you can be on the field. But, these guys right now are locked in on the Cincinnati Bengals. And, You know, I asked Coach on Monday, how do he, how does he prepare his teams and don't let the emotions override the task at hand? And you know, the good thing about it is with Demaria is that hey, he's back in the building, so it's nothing to ponder on. Is he going to make it or what's the situation? You know, he's in the building. You know, so that's the greatest sign that they can have to move forward to focus on the Bengals, and that's what those guys are doing right now. I mean, you heard Jonathan the presser right now. You know, man, like he's here with us, so it's nothing left to ponder. You know, emotionally. You know, now it's just time to get back to business, and business is beating the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday.
What are the chances we see DeMar Hamlin take a peek out onto the field and welcome the crowd during the Bengals game?
I think it'd be only fitting to do it, you know, just because, hey, it was Cincinnati that it happened in. And, you know, for both teams to go through that, I think it would be only fitting for DeMar to make some sort of an appearance to, you know, let both teams know, hey, I'm okay, and you guys can get back to playing football. You know, and the fans too, because the fans endured a lot as well as the players, but not to that degree. But, you know, so I think it's only fitting for DeMar to, you know, have some sort of presence on game day. I'll be shocked if it's not.
Right?
It's gonna be electric. All right. So speaking of electric, we got somebody here who has been to every single game this season. Every last game this season she went to, home and away. So if there's anybody who knows what it's going to sound like inside the stadium, it's Kristen. What is the energy at Highmark Stadium going to be like when the Bengals come to town?
It's gonna be loud, dude. It's gonna be really loud. When we were in Cincinnati, it was loud. Like they showed up, and I think that they're gonna show up here, especially because of our bond. You know, like that bonded us. And I think there's gonna be a lot of Cincinnati fans coming to town. And I think that obviously the Bills are gonna be louder, but I don't want to underestimate them. I don't want to underestimate their fans.
It's going to be hard to beat Buffalo in Buffalo. Like, as far as the fans go, I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
I don't think it'll be 50-50. I think it'll still be like, 20-80.
Okay,
but I think
all right.
the 20 that's here are going to make
Yeah, the Bills going to show off. What about you, Coach? What's your expectations for the energy in the stadium? When the Bengals come on Sunday at 3:00.
As far as the Bengals coming to do what now?
So, what do you think the energy in the stadium and from the players is going to be like when the Bengals come?
That's gonna be nuts. This is gonna be nuts just for the simple fact that it is the Cincinnati Bengals, and there's a lot of talk going on that the Cincinnati was gonna just destroy the Bills if it wasn't for the situation at hand that Monday night. So we're gonna get an answer to that this Sunday, and guess what? It's here in our house, so it's gonna be a different dynamic. Bills Mafia is gonna be in full effect. It's gonna be crazy. The team is gonna be feeding off the energy there, and hopefully they bring a different presence, to the first 10 minutes than that we saw. Because I'll be clear, Cincinnati did seem like the more aggressive team that day, but Bills is kind of like a second half team. They might jump out on you in the beginning, but it's just a second half team, and I think that's going to be the case with Cincinnati. Or if they jump out on Cincinnati, I don't think that the Bills relinquish the lead just due to the fact that they've been in so many of those situations, and it's time to punch that ticket to the big enchilada. And every snap, every down is crucial at this point. So I think the Bills is going to bring their A game, and they're really excited to get down to business as well. People was thinking about the score, the 7-3 score that Cincinnati had, and how it looked on their second possession, like they were going to score again. Think again, right? Because the Bills is not going to be going for any of that. And I'm quite sure that you're going to see a different Bills team this Sunday. Going to be, it's going to be emotional. It's going to be emotional, but they got a lot to play for as well, and they're going to be revved up and amped up to play.
So, as far as the game goes, what do the Bills need to do to make sure they are either able to play here next week or go to Atlanta?
Well, they got to be aggressive. They got to be aggressive on both sides of the ball, and they got to have balance. Got to run the ball. Last week against Miami, they were up 17 points. The run game got going on that drive, but they just can't help themselves, right? They got to just make some sort of pass, and that was a bad pass by Josh. It wasn't a bad call more or less because they got the one-on-one matchup, but Josh just didn't put enough air on it for it to get over the head of Xavier Howard. So bad pass by Josh, but plays like that changes morale in ball games, and during the playoffs, you can't do that. I don't care if the team don't have a starting quarterback, they don't have a few starters on the defensive line, whatever the case may be. You cannot do that to a team that feel that they don't have a chance. You give team opportunity, and they feel that they can win. And we almost saw that last week, by the blunderous things that we were doing at some point in that game. But I think if they have some balance, start running the ball, mix it up a little bit, get Josh under center instead of the gun a lot, they're a little bit predictable when they're in the gun. But under center, I think it causes a problem for defense because you don't know if Josh is going to hand it off or is he going to tuck it, get his head around and do bootleg and stuff like that. And we all know how deadly Josh is outside of the pocket. So I think that you'll see a little bit more balanced attack offensively. Defensively, they need to dial up the blitzes a little bit more, try to disrupt the timing of Joe Burrow because they're dealing with some issues up front as well. And if we can capitalize off of that, make it a long day for Burrow and company, then they're not that explosive when you disrupt their timing.
Then, there's nobody who's seen the Bills play more in person, of course, as we established in Kristen. So, how confident are you in the Bills that they'll beat the Bengals?
I'm not gonna lie and say I'm super confident right now. I'm a little worried. I mean, do I think the Bills have the capability? Hell yeah. But I don't want to walk into this blind and say, oh, this is just an absolute win. I don't think that this is a gimme game. I think that we are gonna have to pull out all the stops. I really want to see Micah Hyde back for this one. Let's get the duo back in action. That's what I think we're gonna need a powerhouse. We can't walk into this thinking that it's just gonna be a cakewalk.
So, all right. So, what is it about our team that they should believe we have the capability? Because the Bengals aren't a bad team. They've beaten the Chiefs. We've beaten the Chiefs, but never in the playoffs. They've beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs. So, they've shown that they have what it takes to be able to win that game against a really good team. What is it about our team that makes you believe we have the capability to get a win here?
I think our defense is loaded right now. I mean, like I said, I think there's a couple more pieces that I would like to see a little bit more, to eat a little bit more. I want to see us let, Kyrie Elam, I want to see him. I would love to see the safety duo back together. Our offense, I think, really needs to step up. I mean, they're good, but I think that a little bit more work. There was some obvious, mistakes made in the first half of the last game against Miami, and I think they need to clean those things up because we can't afford mistakes like that this week. We can't afford the interceptions. We can't afford the penalties. We need to clean that up and just play our best football.
Yeah, I agree. I've been saying it. The Bills at the beginning of the season, it was like we saw what a full Bills team that doesn't play sloppy can do. And then it's like ever since a certain point, I want to say like week 5 or week 4 or 5, it was just like every game has been sloppy to some degree, and somehow they've still managed to pull out most of them. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see. We'll see if they'll be able to play a complete game. Now, Coach, if they do play a complete game, how does this go?
If I played the complete game, how does it go? Let's see. Again, you got to have that balance. Again, if you get in a short yard situation, trust your run game. Be physical at the point of attack in your run game. You mean to tell me that I got Deion Dawkins, Roger Saffold, I got Spencer Brown that's like 6'9", I got Ryan Bates who's a mauler, I got Mitch Morris who's a we can't get 3 yards. We can't get 3 yards. I don't have a problem with that. So I think we need to be a little bit more physical at the point of attack, trust our run game. And, if we can get things started in our run game, then that's going to start bringing those DBs up and Josh can take those shots off play action. So just, just, just have a more balanced attack, just to keep Cincinnati off his toes. Because if we're not running the ball, then we're kind of predictable. Only thing team's going to do is double digs, force some other guys to make plays, and if they don't make plays, then what? You know what I mean? And so Dorsey has to do a good job of keeping teams off balance with balance, being aggressive at the point of attack, and scoring points on each possession.
Had to, had to. It's the playoffs now, and although I have said that, I'm comfortable with. I don't know about comfortable with, but I said if the Bills win every game for the rest of the season 6-3, do you know what that makes them? Makes them Super Bowl champions. And although I know that's true, because I mean, if they play sloppily but they're good enough to win the Super Bowl, it's not like I'm gonna sit here and complain. But I would like to see them actually get it going and not see as many mistakes, because like when you look at the Bills, it's like every single drive the offense is going. 89% of the drives the offense is going, and they just all out for whatever reason. An incomplete pass here, a run for no gain here, a false start, or whatever. It just seems like they shoot themselves in the foot a lot. So we got to see the Bills clean it up. But
I want that perfect game back.
Yes.
I want the perfect game. Yeah. The Josh Allen against the Patriots. I want the perfect game.
We started the season with blowouts. Let's end it with blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
But Kristen here, like we said, she is the founder of the Bills Mafia Babes, an amazing group. They do a ton of charity work. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that and what you guys got going on?
Yeah. So we work with a different player every month, right? So we talk to the different players. We find out what causes they're passionate about. If they have their own foundation, or they just, are passionate about heart health, things like that. And once we know that, we work with them, their team, to really push the knowledge of that specific charity into the universe. And then we also try and raise funds for it. So this month we're working with Tyrell Dodson. So he is actually creating an initiative to assist the victims of the blizzard, the 22 blizzard. So yeah, so we're working with him on that, and we're gonna have a couple of things, raffle items and things coming up. We're just kind of getting those pieces finished up, and hopefully pushing those out soon. Yeah.
What about you, Coach? You work for the legendary 96.5 WUFO. What's going on there? What you got? Tell us about some of the things you're doing over there.
Well, I wear a lot of hats at, WUFO 1080 AM on Power 96.5. And, we've been covering the Bills for 40 years. It all started with the mighty Oba and Pat Freeman. And, 4 years ago, he passed the torch to little old me. You know what I mean? So, right now we just, making sure that everybody just respect the brand and we give them nothing but great coverage. I try to ask some of the, I try to ask questions that, our fan base can relate to. And, I continue to do that. Other than that, everything else is self-explanatory, baby. We got to get to the Super Bowl, and it's long overdue, right? Just like how the Overdue Bills say, right? It's long overdue. Me, I question for Kristen here. Tickets went on sale today. Just tell us about how crazy that was.
Dude, it was nuts. It really was. I believe from what I've heard, the season ticket holder group is completely sold out. I know that it was 16 minutes in. I was still in the queue, and 16 minutes in, those were already. The 100 level was basically gone. It was a lot. You had to get in the line, you had to wait in the queue, you had to see that thousands of people were in front of you, depending on what your time slot was. Once you got in, it was sometimes there were single tickets only available, and then all of a sudden at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, they decided to release more because they all sold out. And now I hear that they're releasing more again because there's so many people that didn't even get a shot because they ran out so quick. They were allowing people to buy 6 tickets apiece. So you had season ticket holders that probably aren't even going to the game and they're buying tickets and just looking to flip them. And I think there's a lot of people that were frustrated because they wanted to go to the game. And maybe now they're going to get priced out of it. So hopefully the Bills keep releasing more tickets. Hopefully, the public ones kind of come out sooner than later, and all those people that didn't have shots are able to jump in and get what they wanted.
But I mean, hey, if the season ticket was sold out so quickly, that means there's going to be a massive Bills, representation.
They're making it a home game.
Exactly, making it a home game. Buffalo South.
Yeah.
make Atlanta Buffalo South. But yeah, man, absolutely. Well, this is really, really cool. We've been here at Resurgence Brewery. Here, having a couple beers, eating a couple wings, having some fun. So shout out to Resurgence. Shout out to 96.5 WUFO. Of course, shout out to the Bills Mafia Babes and everybody in the Fambase family, all the Bills Mafia. We want to thank you for tuning in with us and hanging out with us. It's a little loud in here, a lot of music and stuff, but it's been a good time.
More beer to drink. I got more beer to drink.
You said what?
Said I got more beer to drink. But shout out to Dan for Resurgence for having us. Shout out for Chris for the hospitality. We be back. We're gonna do this fan base style next time. How about that?
Absolutely. All right, so how about
with a few babes?
All right, so go ahead and send us out, Coach.
Well, Bills versus Bengals, Sunday night at 3. Do you believe?